All right, and we are here live at the Intersection Podcast in beautiful San Diego, California. I'm Mike Duench, Vice President of Marketing for Miovision, and I'm here with a new friend. So new, and also we spent a lot of time together in the last, 2 weeks?
That's true.
Brian Wane. So why don't you say hello to the audience, introduce yourself, and maybe the company that you founded, and a little bit about your story.
Sure. I'm Brian Wane. I'm the CEO of XQ Message. We are a zero trust data protection platform. Been around about 4 years, based out of the Bay Area. And essentially we're trying to bring together operational and executional excellence around cybersecurity to stop cybersecurity from being an impediment to business.
Love it. You also had a lot of acronyms that you shared with me, or you educated me. One was, give us the 2 acronyms that are the most important, or that you say the most often on a day-to-day basis that people should be acutely aware of.
Yes. There needs to be a catalog that gets published.
Yeah.
But CMMC, Cyber Maturity Model Certification. So we help businesses become compliant with regulated data on commercial cloud. So we allow all the defense industrial base to become Cyber Maturity Model Certification level 2 certified on commercial cloud. So you can stay on Microsoft Business Premium, E3, E5 without having to go to GCC High. Yeah. And then the second one is HIPAA. So for healthcare, we allow hospitals, clinics, doctors to deliver better care by not having to worry about compliance and data security, and really connect systems that are unconnectable otherwise.
Yeah, love it. I mean, HIPAA is definitely something that you need. It is minimum table stakes in healthcare, is it not, with data? The other one that I thought you would have said was CGIS.
There is CGIS.
Okay, yes, could you, because that was the one that I took away. I was like, even when you told me about CGIS, I was like, what is CGIS? And then give me the acronym. So what is CGIS?
It's the justice standard for cybersecurity. It's set by the FBI. And basically all law enforcement, all public sector that deals with sensitive regulated data needs to adhere to that. So any kind of digital evidence management, anything like that, needs to be CGIS compliant.
Yeah, love it. I think the one example or story that you told me was about Axon. And Axon has, technical layer, body camera, capturing camera. But even in what we do in capturing video footage at an intersection, how that data move is very, very important to the agencies and cities that trust Miovision to do some problem solving for them. But you kind of revealed to me that it's not always normal to have that other technical layer as it relates to how that data moves from, say, the camera to somewhere else, to make sure that it actually could be used to solve a crime or to be used in a way that's actually meaningful to the municipality. So talk me through that example, because that one was like, okay, had no idea.
Yeah, 100%. So, what we do is data encapsulation. So each individual data object is put in its own secure envelope, its own key, is tracked with its own data loss prevention and data access controls, and that travels with that data wherever it lives throughout its entire life cycle. With the Axon example specifically, when you're ingesting body cam footage, it is not required to be CGIS compliant at that point until it becomes evidence.
Right.
It isn't. So you still have this gap between when the data is ingested and saved within Axon, and then when it becomes evidence and gets transferred somewhere else. There's a chain of custody issue there that can affect the ability to prosecute criminals. And what you need is a secure chain of custody. You need to know who, when, and where all data is accessed throughout its entire life cycle. Otherwise, a lawyer can come in and say, well, I challenge that someone went to a birthday party with their phone and then left it on the table, and we lost control of that data, and something could have happened at that point. And the rates of prosecution become incredibly low when those things are challenged.
It's funny too, in the advent of all the AI tools and how easy it is to now acquire an editing tool or some sort of AI layer to modify something like a video. It also, I think, plays an even more important role for what you do to make sure that file is kept in a native raw format with the advent of all these other things happening so quickly. So
absolutely. And I think that there are a few other really important points to touch upon. which is data residency and data sovereignty, especially for a company like Miovision that's global, that goes everywhere. How do I make sure that my data is accessed within a certain geography and obeys the jurisdictional laws of that geography? If I want my German data only accessible in Germany, I might want to store it on a data center in Ireland, but I have to make sure that it's only accessible here, and I can prove that. Or else I'm violating all kinds of local laws. Yeah. That's true of like all of EMEA, India, Australia, a lot of Latin America, especially Brazil as well. So it's a growing problem that there isn't really any other way to address, because that data sovereignty often gets lost when something leaves a certain environment. Because up to this point, security is based on the environment. It's based on the server, it's based on the network, it's based on the application. But data, that's not how data behaves. Data is going to move across infrastructure that you don't control. You still need to prove that you have that chain of custody across that infrastructure.
Yeah, awesome. The RCO often talks about like the social license of working with data as well. Like, I think this folds
duty of care.
Yeah, the duty of care. Like, what boundaries do we have, especially with HIPAA, to use that data, but also transport that data, almost like the license that goes along with moving crude oil in production. You have to have some responsibility to how do you do that safely. So
100%.
it's awesome. So we're here at ICP. Is this the first time you've been here?
This is the first time.
So what's your big kind of takeaway from a meeting like this? Like, outside of like the amount of technical gear and heavy trucks that are on the show floor?
Well, I'm incredibly impressed by the transformation that's occurring within public safety and justice as it becomes more technologically focused, and it really moves away from some of the tactical, kinetic responses and even tracking of information, evidence, and data, to move into like, how do we move that to a place where we can really accomplish what we want to accomplish through technology in a way that we couldn't before, like overcoming those limitations.
But this has been great. Thanks for your time, and thanks for coming on the podcast.
Appreciate being here. Thank you very much.
For now.